Hello and welcome to my first of many, hopefully many, videos I shall be sticking on YouTube. My name's Jeff Reedman and this is my first layout, well say first layout since adulthood. As a child I used to play with trains, but spent many years without doing it, but often bought bits from time to time, but never got around to doing anything with them. Recently got back into it due to the fact I've been off work for a while, and to pass the time I started getting interested in the trains, and I had an offer of buying a train, a couple of carriages, E-Link controller and the Railmaster software. Basically it was everything in the Western Master kit apart from the track. I had bits of track which I started to put down on this 6x4 board, and followed pretty much the start of the Hornby oval, starter oval, and added parts in a very similar manner, thinking, well, that's how it works for Hornby, so I'll just try it out. There are mistakes, very many mistakes, a big learning curve for DCC for one, and buying rubbish off eBay because it was just there and it was cheap, and not knowing what I'm buying really. But as I say, you can buy cheap bits and pieces off eBay and you can modify them as you want them. I've been sticking decoders in them and the sound decoder. I bought a Tornado cheap off Facebook and put a sound decoder in it, and it's brilliant. It works, it does its job, and it goes around here quite well. Apart from that, I've been on YouTube watching videos. I spend a lot of time on YouTube watching these videos, and it's pretty good. I've learnt a lot, see where I've gone wrong, and it's been giving me inspiration as to how I want to do these things. My biggest problem at the moment is that this is a 6x4 layout and my lounge is about 4.5 metres by 4 metres, so getting around it takes up roughly a quarter of the lounge. Bearing in mind that my sofa is a big L-shaped sofa and takes up around about a third of the lounge, there's not much of the lounge left. So what I've decided to do is that I am gutting the front spare bedroom and making that into a layout. There was a double bed in it, and just by chance I thought I'll strip the base to pieces so I can get all the material in the bin and chop the wood up or use the wood for bits and pieces. And rather than being two square units, it's two long thin units, 6 foot by 2 foot roughly, and they make a fantastic frame for my layout upstairs. So that will be two 6 foot long by 2 foot deep layouts which only really require legs fitting to them. I am considering modifying this layout and sticking it in the corner of the room and taking up part of the track and rerouting it. I will go into more details, but I do need lots of ideas. I've been watching Mark from Western Centurion. It's been brilliant watching you, as is most of the people, well, all of the people I've been watching on YouTube, and I will give you all a mention because you have inspired me. And at the moment I've got through probably just over a third, not far off the halfway mark, through Mark's videos, and that garage is coming on great. It's been fun, and I've had plenty of nights, well, mornings, 2-3 o'clock in the morning watching these videos and enjoying it. And I do keep pausing them because Mark does refer to other channels. He also refers to websites, and one thing I am doing for my new layout is I am basing it on the town from where I was born. You wouldn't realise this with the Brummie accent, but I was born up in Yorkshire, Barnsley. I was 2 when I moved to Birmingham, so that's why there is no Yorkshire accent around. But in my heart of hearts, I want to pay homage to the town, and bearing in mind I was born probably a mile and a half as the crow flies from 2 stations that were in Barnsley, and these stations were only about 100 yards apart, separated by the bus station. The one was called Barnsley Courthouse and the other one was called Barnsley Exchange. Barnsley Courthouse no longer exists, and the Exchange does, although the bus station does exist. It's a bit bigger, and there is a massive sort of glass and steel construction over the top of it going to the railway station, a bit like that sequin covered building in the middle of Birmingham, Selfridges, I think it is anyway. So I will show some photos. I've got very limited information, especially I've got no information on the track layout. So Mark did say go on to Photos of Britain or something like, I can't remember the name of the website, where it's got photos of Britain from above, and I did get a better glimpse of the layout, but it's going to be difficult fitting it in to my plan layout, but I will, with a bit of poetic license, manage to get it in. And it's on 2 different levels because the one track goes over the top of the other, so I will get onto that. I will make a mention of another character on YouTube, a chap called Dave Cherry. Another part of Barnsley is a place called Starefoot, and years and years and years ago there was 3 railways, different companies, and their rails crossed a road basically in a similar fashion, and the bridges crossed over each other, and a lot of it's gone now. I think there's only one railway bridge left, but this big massive roundabout, or as Dave Cherry puts it, roundabout, is a bit of a thing in Barnsley, and Dave Cherry, who is a bit of a historian, an author and a character around Barnsley, he made a song about this roundabout called, and it takes the mickey out of the people who designed it, and it's a must see. You've got to Google it or go on YouTube and just search for it, and it's Starefoot Roundabout. That's what it's called, and you've got to try and spell it phonetically, but if you just search for Dave Cherry, you'll come across it. And he does a lot for charity, so that's my support for him. And I have been in touch with him, and he's going to put me in touch with somebody else who knows quite a lot about the railways in Barnsley. So if you do get to see this, Dave, that's for you, and I will be getting in touch soon. And what I will do is pay homage to you in so much as I'll have Starefoot Roundabout, and there will be in the diorama a little speaker, and there will be your record playing out, assuming you don't have me for copyright, so it will be credited to you. So all that's in the future, but what I will need from any of the viewers is I do need a name for the layout. I've got lots of ideas and I will go through those at some point, so I do need thinking caps on. It is going to be loosely based around Barnsley in the area, but initially the line will be probably 80s, 90s up to the current date for being an era, but I want to have an era of the late 50s and 60s, so I think that's era 5, which will be treated basically as a way of bringing in the old stations and including that, so that will be sort of forming like a heritage line. One way of bringing the heritage line into the system and bringing the steam trains that I've got into use. So that's what my plans are. We'll see how it goes, and I'll uncouple the camera off the tripod and give you a bit of a look around the layout. So see what you think. Cheers. Right, well, this is it. To start with, this is the bottom of the layout. As you can see, it's based around the Hornby Oval and slight modifications to it, just because I had certain pieces of track, but I'll take you around each piece. Got a level crossing on a couple of points, and then as it goes round it goes into a tunnel, and there's at the moment an open back on there, so if there's a derailment that can be sorted out with ease. A little kit that I bought, put lights in virtually all of these buildings, and a few pigs on a dirty bit of mud, and the train comes out the other side of the tunnel there. I did build platforms out of balsa wood, but they were quite out of scale and I just wasn't really satisfied with them, and they did come out, and I did replace them with these Metcalf kits. This broad one is not fixed at the moment, and it will not be fixed. My father, who is sort of housebound, has been helping me by, he built that middle house, he's built that pub, coaching in, and now he's building the ticket office and parcels office, and they come with their own sort of platform, and they're marked Metcalf kits, so he's busy slogging away doing that at the moment for me. I have got lampposts on here, they're not wired up at the moment, as none of the electrics on these in the middle have the electrics connected at the moment. The buffers have all got LEDs in them, so they'll light up red. There's one at the end, one inside that shed there, and two inside that shed there. That big shed with the two locomotives going into it, that is scratch built out of balsa wood, and the top is Metcalf sheet again. Pretty much like Metcalf. I've tried Super Quick, not really happy with the outcome, so I think Metcalf have got the edge on them for that. This here is a very special locomotive to me. It's Cluncastle 7028, sorry 7029. My dad, the reason why we moved to Birmingham was my dad joined the police force, and that became his number, and got the mickey taken out of him, called him Cluncastle, a big chap, and I've always sort of followed that, and I've been trying to get that for a long time, and then suddenly I found it on Olivia's trains, and I got it with sound. So yeah, it's a brilliant locomotive. And then while I was in eBay doing Mark's trick late at night, I come across this little beauty, Cadbury Castle, and the number of that is 7028. So 7028 and 7029, two castles. So I shall be pairing them up and running them together. I've got to sort this one out. I've got new brushes for this. It's an old second-hand one, and although it did come with a DCC chip in it, it wasn't fitted very well, and the cable was in sort of lots of pieces and just went over the top of this coal and through a hole. So I've rerouted it, although I haven't got round to covering the cable. It's a thinner cable as well, so it does work, but it needs a service on the motor, and I've got the brushes now, so I should be changing those and giving it a good service. I have got, as you might have seen from my teaser video that I put up yesterday, that I've got the Railway Children. When it comes to my new layout, there will be a track which goes through a cutting after coming out of a tunnel, and my dad suggested to me that you can do it, son. I know you can do it. You can get some trees and make them move down the hill and then put rubbish all over the track. And I said, yeah, I'll create that. I also want to recreate the end of the film. The end that sends me to tears every single time I watch the film, and that's where the steam clears and Jenny Aguilar's shouting "Daddy, Daddy." So I will create that and put it on Facebook. I'll probably get told off for copyright by copying the film, but it will be all my own work and it will be all my own material. So that will be in the future. So this layout, I have got plans, and I will be asking for ideas. And just a quick one before I do go. E-Link, this little monster here, and Railmaster. It has been working fine, but the latest updates, just before Christmas, I sent my E-Link loopy. It does all sorts of things. The sound decoder is in there, doesn't come up as the right one. It doesn't recognise it as the right one. Version 3 is fitted and it says it's a version 4. Now, unless Olivia Trains have given me a version 4 decoder without charging me 75 quid for it, then well, obviously E-Link has gone wrong again. And what made me think it was wrong was when I put the TTS decoder in here, straight out the box, TTS decoder and E-Link Railmaster says it's a Hornby Sapphire decoder, and doesn't give me any access to any of the sound functions. I did write to one of the CVs that operates the volume of the sound, and it did change the volume. That was the master volume control 17 something, 179 or something. I can't remember, 176. I can't remember which CV it is, but I did try that and it did alter it. But yesterday I unplugged the E-Link from the power. I left it off for about 5 minutes. I restarted my computer. I took that off the track, and when I put it back on the track, the horn blew and the sound was just on. The steam just blowing out as it was sat at the station, or the shed as it is. And then it took about 4 attempts to restart Railmaster, where all of a sudden it stopped. But also my iPad, which was linked, just did not work. It just froze. Can't imagine it's something to do with the iPad, but it wasn't communicating with the Railmaster software. Now, bearing in mind you pay extra to get the Pro version, and you pay $9.99 to allow you to use the first tablet or phone, or what they call handheld device. It's a bit of annoyance when you can't use everything you've got, and it's costing you more money. So I have been looking at different ways of doing it, and before I do start spending good money after bad, because it's hard to come by, I will be looking around at different options if this doesn't get itself sorted. I have been on the Hornby forums, and basically they say just update the software again from the link on the website, which I have done twice, and still it's playing up. So I have been looking at the Z21 because people have been showing that on theirs, and I will be giving you a mention at the end. I have messaged the one, I think it's Graham, asking more questions, and I will be seeing what it is I need. Do I need to control it from a computer? Do I need to install it on a computer? I know it works off the iPad, so I need to know all about it. And what I do understand is there are two versions: a Z21 with a lowercase z and a Z21 with an uppercase z, and there's a difference in cost. What it is with the systems I do not know, but we'll have to see. So, end of my rambling. I will now show you some plans quickly before I leave you, and get you something to ponder over. Okay, cheers. Right, in true Western Centurion style, Mark does his board with his photos and pictures on it, so I've done the same. That's the layout that you've just seen, a picture of it. This is a picture of the railways around Barnsley, and this is in particular where I was talking about, in the town centre just here. So that's what I shall be aiming for, something like that. That is the only aerial photo, courtesy of Britain from above, and you can see this line coming down there. That is the courthouse station there. This is the exchange, and that is the bus station. So there's the exchange. It's not a lot to go with at the moment. I have got that. That's looking from the exchange station here, and there's the bus station, and at the top there that is the courthouse station. That should there be in the courthouse station, and these buildings behind the this parapet, the train went above on there, and that is on the exchange station there, and that is looking from the exchange station where it goes above the parapet, and there's a street at the back of it. So that's what I'm aiming for. This is a more up-to-date photograph, and that's what it looks like now. And the exchange station used to be here and around there, and this is where the train used to come across the top of, going down there. But now that is an ultramodern bus station and railway station. That is my layout of the room in 1 foot sections on the grid, and if I superimpose the picture of the 6x4 layout there, you can see the dotted lines represent the rails coming through the tunnel and the other ends there, but I'm not too sure I'm going to do that because I'll end up with 2 loops, one inside the other, not joined, and you can't join them because, well, you can if you use a loop, I can't remember what they call it now, changes the loop because of shorting out the circuit. So it's all up in the air at the moment, but no doubt I shall have a go. So I won't keep you for any longer. It's been a long enough video, especially for the first one. So we'll take it from there. Cheers and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you can. Cheers, bye.